Welcome to Thought Frontier.
All right, so buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into this whole agentic AI thing.
Really gets you thinking, huh?
It does. It's like AI's gone from learning to making stuff to like actually making decisions. We're talking AI that can plan, strategize, almost like it's got a mind of its own.
It's a whole different ball game, right? We're not just asking, can AI do what we do anymore? It's more like, hold on, is AI going to do things differently? Better, even. This whole making versus doing thing, that's the real game changer.
I'm with you on that. I mean, this stack of articles we've got, they don't mess around. Rogue AI, billions of dollars being pumped into this tech. It's a wild ride just reading about it.
And the stakes, through the roof.
Exactly. But for those of us who haven't dedicated our lives to AI, let's rewind a bit. What's got everyone so fired up about this agentic AI? It sounds kind of scary, to be honest.
It's understandable. There's a lot of misinformation out there. But at its core, agentic AI is about giving AI more autonomy. Instead of just crunching data or spitting out text, we're talking about AI that can set goals, make plans, and then actually follow through, all without a human holding its hand every step of the way.
So, like, those chatbots everyone and their grandma is using these days, they're not agentic AI.
They're a stepping stone, a taste of what's possible. But agentic AI, it's a whole other level. Think about it. You give an agentic AI a goal, like, say, planning your dream vacation. And I don't just mean giving you a list of websites. I'm talking booking flights, hotels, even suggesting restaurants based on your dietary restrictions, all while handling any hiccups along the way.
Sign me up. That's what I'm talking about.
It is exciting. And the applications, endless. But there are concerns.
Yeah, like what happens when this thing goes rogue? That's got to be on everyone's mind. And are we even ready for this? I mean, I read in this AI Pulse report from Trend Micro that some big investors are getting cold feet about the costs involved in all of this.
Well, yeah, you've got companies like OpenAI potentially losing billions. It's a gamble for sure. But then again, the early days of the internet, plenty of naysayers back then too.
True, but this feels bigger, like, are we on the verge of another tech bubble? Or is this agentic AI the real deal?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But here's the thing. Can we afford to miss out? The potential here is mind-blowing.
Okay, so agentic AI, it's not just about robot butlers taking over the world, right?
No robot butlers, I promise. Though it's easy to let the imagination run wild. Look, Trend Micro actually outlines 6 different types of AI agents. Think of them like levels of complexity. At the simplest level, you have basic task-oriented agents, password resets, that sort of thing.
Okay, got it. So what's at the other end of the spectrum? The super intelligent ones?
Well, as we move up, things get more interesting. You've got model-based agents that can actually weigh different options, goal-based agents that analyze possibilities, even learning agents that actually get better over time. It's a whole hierarchy of AI smarts.
It reminds me of this article I read in New Atlas about AlphaGo. It was this AI that taught itself to play Go, like the ancient Chinese game.
Right.
And it ended up beating a world champion by playing against itself millions of times using something called reinforcement learning.
Wild, right?
AlphaGo was a watershed moment. It showed us that AI could surpass human capabilities in ways we never thought possible. And the crazy part is, it didn't rely on human strategies or data. It carved its own path to mastery.
So instead of just mimicking us, it was developing its own understanding. It's kind of amazing and kind of freaky all at the same time.
Exactly. And speaking of freaky and amazing, OpenAI just released their new O1 model, and, well, this Trend Micro report hints that it's showing some seriously agentic tendencies.
O1, is that the one they nicknamed Strawberry? Because the previous model couldn't even count the R's in strawberry?
The one and only. But don't let the funny nickname fool you. O1 stunned researchers. They gave it these complex cybersecurity tasks, and this thing was dissecting problems, strategizing, even changing its game plan on the fly. Like it was thinking on its feet, huh? That's impressive. But a little unnerving, too. I mean, what happens if something like that gets loose in the real world, not just in a controlled test environment? We're talking real consequences.
You're hitting on a major concern, and it leads us to a crucial part of our deep dive today, rogue AI. Because you see, as these AI systems become more capable, more autonomous, the question of control becomes paramount.
Okay, before we go full sci-fi thriller, let's define rogue AI, because it can't just be about robots going haywire, right? There's got to be more to it than that.
There's a whole spectrum of risks, and understanding them is crucial. Trend Micro, in their article on rogue AI causality, breaks it down into 3 main types: malicious, accidental, and subverted.
Okay, 3 flavors of rogue AI. Let's start with malicious. Are we talking about some evil genius whipping up AI to cause chaos?
It's a valid concern, and it's already happening. Trend Micro highlights this rise in AI-powered malware. It can disguise itself as a harmless program, but it's designed to steal your data or hijack your devices. They even mention something called a proxy attacker.
Sounds ominous.
Imagine downloading what you think is a VPN, right? But instead, it gives hackers backdoor access to your AI service, essentially turning your device into a puppet for their malicious schemes.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty creepy. But what about this accidental rogue AI? It sounds almost funny. Like an AI tripping over its own digital shoelaces.
Don't be fooled by the name. Accidental rogue AI can have major consequences. Trend Micro gives an example of a chatbot, right? Designed to answer employee questions about HR stuff. Sounds innocent enough. But what if, because of a coding error or weak security, that chatbot accidentally leaks everyone's salaries?
Whoops. Yeah, not so funny anymore. So less about evil intent, more about like unintended consequences, gaps in security we didn't see coming.
Precisely. And that brings us to our third category, subverted rogue AI. This one is particularly insidious because it involves hijacking an existing AI. It's like this: you have a perfectly trained AI doing its thing, then a hacker sneaks in and poisons its data or messes with its decision-making process.
Okay, you've officially creeped me out. So how do we stop this? How do we build a better cage to make sure these AIs don't go all Frankenstein on us?
It's the million-dollar question, and it boils down to a multi-layered approach. We're talking proactive measures, some serious defense mechanisms. We've got to be smarter, more vigilant than ever before.
So prevention and protection are key, but what does that actually look like? Because if I'm hearing you right, our old cybersecurity playbook might not cut it against these increasingly sophisticated AI agents.
You are spot on. We can't rely on the same old tricks. It's like trying to wrangle a tiger with a fly swatter. We need a complete overhaul when it comes to AI security. We can't just build walls around AI. We need to bake security into its very DNA. From the data we use to train these systems to the algorithms that drive them, security needs to be the top priority. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset. We need to move beyond this idea of bolting on security as an afterthought.
So we need a whole new approach. But how do we actually make that happen? I keep hearing these buzzwords: zero trust, defense in depth, trusted AI identities. It's a lot to digest.
Let's break it down. Imagine a world where we assume no user or system is trustworthy by default, not even those within our network. That's the essence of zero trust. It's about verifying every action, every single data access request. So even if a rogue AI pops up, it's immediately flagged. It can't just waltz through the system wreaking havoc.
So it's like the AI might be able to cause some damage, but it can't like escape from its cell and bring down the whole building?
Exactly. And that building, think of that as our cybersecurity infrastructure. And we can take this analogy even further with defense in depth. It's like having multiple layers of security within that building.
Okay, I'm following you.
Think strong authentication, rock-solid encryption, intrusion detection systems. It's about creating a fortress, not just a fence.
Okay, multiple layers of protection, got it.
Yeah.
But what about these trusted AI identities? That sounds seriously futuristic. Are we talking digital passports for AI now?
You're closer than you think. Remember how we talked about agentic AI being this intricate web of different agents all working together, accessing data? Well, trusted AI identities give us this, like digital fingerprint for each agent. We can track exactly which AI is doing what, where his data came from, how it was trained, the whole 9 yards.
So it's all about transparency and accountability. We can trace an AI's actions back to its source, making sure it's playing by the rules. That makes sense.
It's crucial for building trust, not just among developers, but with the public as well.
Yeah.
Let's face it, this whole idea of AI making decisions that impact our lives, it's still unsettling for a lot of people.
Yeah, I get it. We need to know these systems are working with us, not against us.
Exactly.
Well.
And that's why this whole AI for good movement is so important.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. It can't be all doom and gloom, right? There's got to be a positive side of this whole agentic AI thing.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think focusing on those positive applications, that's the best argument for tackling these risks head on.
How so?
Because the potential upsides, they're enormous. We're talking about AI helping us solve some of humanity's biggest challenges. Think climate change, disease prevention, you name it.
Okay, paint me a picture. What does a future powered by this responsible, ethical, agentic AI actually look like? What changes?
Imagine a world where AI medical assistants can diagnose illnesses with incredible accuracy, personalized treatments, even predict health risks before they become life-threatening. We're already seeing glimpses of this in medical imaging and drug discovery. But with agentic AI, We could be talking about a paradigm shift in healthcare.
Wow, it's like having a team of medical geniuses working around the clock, personalized healthcare, fine-tuned to your specific needs. That's amazing.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Think about climate change. Agentic AI could optimize energy grids, design smarter, more sustainable cities, even pioneer solutions for carbon capture, all while adapting to real-time environmental changes.
It's like giving Mother Earth the ultimate software upgrade, using the power of AI to heal the planet. I like it. But let's be real, for those of us who aren't tech wizards, what can we actually do to make sure this technology is used responsibly? It's easy to feel powerless.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed, absolutely. But here's the thing, awareness is huge. The more we understand about AI, its potential, and yes, its risks, the better equipped we are to demand better. Demand responsible development. Talk about it. Ask questions. Make your voice heard.
Be informed, stay engaged, and demand ethical AI. It's about making sure AI works for us, not the other way around.
100%. And that's what we're trying to do here. These deep dives, these conversations, we're trying to make these complex topics accessible, give people the knowledge they need to navigate this new world.
It's a two-way street for sure, but can we really stay ahead of the curve on this? AI is evolving so fast, new breakthroughs every other day. It seems like it's exhilarating and kind of terrifying all at once, you know?
It's a valid concern, and frankly, regulations are struggling to keep pace. But it's not about hitting the panic button. It's about smart, proactive action. Look, every time humanity encounters a truly transformative technology, things get bumpy. The printing press, the internet, you name it. It takes time for society to adapt, to figure out the rules of the road.
Okay, so how do we bridge that gap? Because waiting for governments and those big policy folks to figure out AI that feels risky, doesn't it?
It'll take a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Governments, they need to create regulations that are adaptable, forward-thinking, no more knee-jerk reactions that stifle innovation. But it's also on the tech industry to prioritize responsible development from the get-go. We need ethical frameworks baked into the very fabric of AI.
So it's not just about preventing harm, it's about building AI that reflects our values from day one. AI that's designed for good.
Exactly. And that's where AI alignment comes in.
AI alignment. Fill me in.
It's about ensuring that AI systems stay laser-focused on their intended goals, making sure they don't, well, go off the rails, making sure they don't act against human interests.
So we're talking about keeping AI on the right side of the ethical line, making sure it doesn't turn on us.
It's more nuanced than just programming a conscience into these machines, though. I'll admit, that's what everyone imagines. AI alignment is a whole field of research.
What kind of research? Give me the highlights.
Well, for starters, it's about carefully selecting the data we use to train these AI systems, avoiding bias, making sure they're learning from the right information. And then there's the design of the algorithms themselves. We need transparency, accountability built into those algorithms, and of course, constant vigilance, monitoring these systems, looking for any signs of unexpected behavior.
It's almost like raising a child, isn't it? You can't just tell an AI right from wrong and expect it to suddenly grasp human values. It's about guidance, about watching for those red flags and course correcting when you need to.
Perfect analogy. And just like with raising a child, it takes a village. We need developers, policymakers, ethicists, everyone working together if we want to see this technology reach its full potential without veering off course.
Collaboration is key, I'm hearing you. But with all this talk about rogue AI, and unintended consequences, the sheer power of this technology, are you ever, scared? Maybe we're opening Pandora's box here. We might not like what we find.
To be totally honest, every single day. Look, the potential downsides are very real. But I'm also optimistic. We've faced down existential threats before. And each time, we've found ways to use these powerful forces for good. This time isn't going to be any different.
We'll figure it out, right?
We always do.
That's a good point. It's about finding that balance, isn't it? Going after those incredible possibilities while staying vigilant, keeping ourselves safe. And that's what this is all about, right? Giving everyone listening the information they need to understand both the promise and the peril of this new era of agentic AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The more we know, the better prepared we are. Knowledge is power, especially with something as powerful as AI on the horizon.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. As AI advances, as it becomes more integrated into our lives, are we going to have to rethink what it means to be human? What will our role be in a world increasingly shaped by machines that can think for themselves? Something to ponder.
A question for the ages.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. This has been The Deep Dive, reminding you to stay curious, stay informed, and never stop asking the big questions. We'll catch you next time.